Aloha, everyone. We saw further confirmation of the strength of the current market. I did not make a video this weekend as I was way too busy. However, Friday was quadruple witching on the stock market exchanges, and what we saw was obviously gigantic volume. However, one of the most interesting things is that in the IPO land, I noticed many stocks make huge price and volume moves. I immediately recognized that was absolutely impossible to be options related because most of those issues aren't going to have options. I was 100% correct, and out of all the IPOs that I flagged, as you can see on the new positions page, more than not did not have option activity. That means turning your options as stock was not the case for those stocks, and those big volume surges you saw was actual real accumulation. So they decided to go ahead and accumulate stocks heavily on Friday last week in the guise of quadruple witching. So a lot of the volume was quadruple witching related, but you'll notice how surgy the volume was, and that's because some real accumulation was going on. And before we get into what happened today, we have no sells and no covers to talk about today. We had only one partial sell on Friday, and that turned out well today, as it really hasn't gone anywhere. But the biggest thing is that these were all extra signals outside of the stocks I took. And as you can see, as I start to post all of them, you can see that every single one of these stocks ended up following through, or at least stayed the same at some point today. So that is also further confirmation of the strength, because normally what we have on options expiration, if I get this many signals, over half end up being false because it ends up being options related. However, as you can see by the way that every single one of the 24 price generated signals on Friday worked. Every single one, 24 for 24. And GBCI is just one of the better examples, but you can see, and UNTD is one of the worst, and you can see it was only down 0.84%. The bottom line is that everything is really cooking on the way technical price structure is supposed to act. And it's to me, it's just incredible just to watch. One of the other problem ones was CMG, and as you can see, it was down 0.40% on lower volume. So everything is absolutely perfect. And another thing to notice today, we got Christmas Eve tomorrow, and we got Christmas the next day. Yet volume was almost at average on the NASDAQ. New York Stock Exchange, well below average. Despite this, despite the low average volume, my two price volume scans were extremely active, with one having 341 stocks in it, the other one with 176. Those are extremely high numbers for a below average volume day. So once again, I don't know how much more bullish of a setup you can ask for. We got it. And in that note, as we end 2013 is going to finally be the first year since 2008 that I significantly outpaced the average return of the market. As it stands, there is a 65% gain in my IRA, and that's the proxy that I use. And as you can see, the NASDAQ is up 37% this year. I didn't double it, which is what I normally like to do. And to do that, I would have needed a 75% return. Maybe it'll happen before the end of the year. Some of my more exciting longs can work. Either way, a success following the last two hellish years for me personally. To recap everything, after a fantastic 2008 when the world economy crashed and we returned over 40%, while the major market indexes at one point were down 50%, a 90% divergence. That led to the very next year where I did in 2009, where I did not beat the market. That led to 2010 when I underperformed the market, which started to really have me shaking my head, which led to 2011, 2012 were absolute nightmares. 2011 down 20%, 2012 down 10%, all made up in 2013. So two horrible years were made up this year. Not bad, and hopefully, as long as we can continue to move higher, 2014 should be great. And if we can try to get parabolic on this market, that would be awesome, because then once again, whenever we do top and drop, we're going to make a killing on the short side, especially with the use of these leveraged ETFs that I now understand. I didn't understand. These things didn't exist until 2008. Until 2008, these leveraged ETFs didn't exist. Now that I know that they exist and how to work them, when we get our next downtrend, we're going to destroy it, and I can't wait. But until then, let's hope we keep going up. And on that note, we have two longs tonight. One is a brand new long in a stock that is a member of the AAII Shadow Stock Portfolio, which is also up around 70% this year, well outperforming the market. And like I said, I always pay attention to the stocks that these guys are in. INO is one of them. INO, we'll go ahead and bring it up here. You can see over here, that's VIPS, by the way, which we're going to add to. So before I get off here, look at that sales and EPS growth. They haven't, for the last 8 quarters, they have not had sales under 146% return. Those are astronomical numbers, astronomical earnings per share gains. And as you can see in 2014 here, more is continued. And look at the way mutual funds, from 17 to 56 to 83 to 113 funds owning this stock in the past 4 quarters. It should be much more ahead, you would think, as long as we keep trending higher. However, I want some beta, excuse me. I want some beta. And by getting some beta, I want to be in a more speculative stock, and I got one tonight in that AAII shadow stock, Inovio Pharmaceuticals. It's a very interesting company. It's gotten a blessing by our mastermind trading day trader and special situation trader in our chat room, Paul. Paul has looked at the company, loves what they do, and believes that they'll be able to be profitable in some time. You look at that 999% increase in sales compared to last quarter. So in September 2012, they did 0.9 million in sales, 900,000. This most recent quarter, they did 9 million in sales. So there's a lot of room for growth here, especially what they do, medical systems and therapies for cancer and infectious diseases using electroporation DNA delivery technology. So obviously, you can see here at the below, there's a lot of plus signs in this price graph. That's insiders buying. So not only do we got a great chart, but we got insiders buying the stock along with it. Unfortunately, I'm fully invested. I'm basically 100% long. I do not even have 0.3% cash on hand. Therefore, 0.25% of that cash on hand is going to go into INO, and the rest of the 0.05% cash on hand is going to go into our ad VIPS. VIPS coming around 50-day moving average on strong volume. But overall, market looks very healthy. I would not fight this tape. I still see people talking about how bad it's going to end. Yeah, well, when the fuck's it going to do that? Now? 2014, 2015, 2025? Until that actually happens, ride this thing higher. We're looking very strong, especially in the bank area. And as long as the banks are leading, what are you going to do? Go with it.